Oh, there it is. Buy Trump tour tickets. Found it. Oh, boy. Here they are. Remember, it was going to be all this fall. It was going to start in October. A little late for that. And it was going to go through the whole... Oh, shit. You have to see this picture. Hold on. This is from Bill O'Reilly's site. I gotta say, it's Bill, kind of a dick move to touch up your photo and not touch up his. As a ticket partner thing, that's just a dick move. I mean, no one has a forehead this smooth without some major sandblasting. I mean, you would have to go, I don't know how many people have that much sand. That's an entire beach would have to been destroyed simply so you could sandblast the wrinkles out of that forehead. All the way up to there, though, too. That's commitment. That's, you know what I mean? Most people, yes, to get massive dermabrasion, most people are only gonna, pay for the front area right here. Get that Tucker crease out of your forehead, right? Not Bill. Oh no. Yes. You got this whole area done, and this area, and up into this area, and it's all just smooth. And I almost made myself barf a little bit. I almost did. And then over here, Trump looking like he washed up on shore. Heavy, like these are some Key West wrinkles happening over here. It could be Facetune. Whatever gave you that idea? Are you telling me that Bill O'Reilly, when we see him in the video, isn't going to look this smooth? Are you alleging this? People in chat room with too much sense to buy this? Yes. Look, I mean, honestly, it's like a beige egg with hair on it. Meanwhile, look at this. Just crow's feet, bags, squinting. The light is far too bright. This is a very grisly looking chin happening here. There's something in the chin area that's getting like gin blossom crusty up in this biz. But, and then of course they're selling all of his books. And is he on the radio or listening to I guess he's on the radio someplace. But, you don't want to miss these dates. Let's see. Florida, Texas. All right. Well, at least he's going into the hinterlands so he can be confronted by people who aren't already on the team. In the afternoon, at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. And then another one on Saturday. And these are both, like this is driving distance. And then Houston, Texas, 3 o'clock. Really? Is there a cheaper? I'm genuinely confused. I thought these were going to be, prime time events. How much are tickets? Let's see. They got to be. I mean, you got to be able to pick your ticket, right? It wouldn't be a Trump event unless you could pick your seat. $100 a piece. Let's see. There's the stage. These aren't for sale. The ones over here are not available. This has got to be the sold out section. These people are. This is the income inequality of Trump fans. This is bought out by the well-to-do Karens and their mates, and then these are the shit seats for the people who go to every MAGA thing but have to pay for it. $100 a piece. Look at all these seats. $100. All is what's this area? How much is this? Oh, look at that. There's a loaner. If you want to go by yourself, look at that. That single seat, $300 for section 12011 row 6. Look at this guy, this loaner over here. There's a guy. 300. Are you guessing the Heritage Foundation is buying out a bunch of these things and giving them as gifts? Yeah. So they're jamming these. Okay, that was Amway Center, I think, right? Look at that one. Oh, this is a different one. Okay. So this is more available. Obviously the presidential suites are, those are spoken for. The founder suites, also not for sale. They don't want to dirty up those seats. Those are, you're only limited to this. These are, so basically, How do you get this seat? Do you have to wear a Blacks for Trump shirt? Is that how it works? Let's see. Oh, come on. There's 8 tickets left here, and they're $2,255. A verified resale ticket. Verified resale. 2 over here. 2 over here. I mean, this is like Tony Robbins weekend prices. I mean, there's no way he's not going to show up, even if it's half empty, because these seats are all like $2,000. And then this whole section's a little farted out, whatever. Let's see. Lowest price. Let's see. Give me the best seats. What's the best seats available? Come on. $2,000, $2,026.85, $1,124, $613, $613. I mean, honestly, do you even MAGA, bro? Yeah. So this section, these guys, yeah, they're paying for it to sit there for this once in a lifetime chance to see him do it again. Anyways, so and is I don't know if this is Bill O'Reilly just attempting to karate chop Trump at the beginning of this interview. It's a 20-minute interview. It's not very good. It's not very long. So I'm curious what will happen. Then, of course, I have apparently Bongino's radio career is in danger. But also, I found a documentary that The Blaze is doing with Glenn Beck. And if we have time after all this, we'll get to some of it, if not all of it, about just the coming sort of woke North Korea-ing of America. And there's no way to avoid it. We'll never get out of the trap. But until then, please join us for a nice 2112. Oh, that's nice. We are the priests of the temple. It's 2112. Of spearings of the gift of life. I had within our walls. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to have Rush going through my head the entire time. Wish me luck. Just going to have Rush songs, just kind of, that's the theme today, just because this interview is exactly 2112. Yes. Rip Neil Peart. Okay, here we go.
Doing you such a huge favor by being in so much trouble. And the country's collapsing.
By the way, is this where this thing starts? They just like roll it. They're already talking. I mean, or maybe this is the lead in and they do a graphic and then come back.
I must really love you. He's doing you.
Oh, he's saying Biden must really love you.
Such a huge favor by.
Yeah, I don't. Something. I don't. Maybe it's just me. Hold on 1 second. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Just states out.
Being in so much trouble, and the country's collapsing. And
is the country collapsing, guys? Is the country collapsing? By the way, where you are, I know it's collapsing where I am. Have you seen the sky lately?
Then the polls show that people are almost having voter regret. Did you ever hear that phrase? Voter regret.
Well, I think they might have regret, but I think they voted for me at a level that nobody's ever received before as a sitting president. 75 million votes and 12 million more than we got last time. So I'm not sure they have regret. I think we got.
No, they regret.
Shit, he's not talking about you, stupid. We're already at the point where Bill O'Reilly is trying to keep Grandpa from wandering into traffic. Keep in mind, both of these men have been saying for months now that that Biden doesn't know which way is up and that he can't form a sentence and that his brain is going and he has dementia, but he's also a master criminal.
12 million more than we got last time.
Sorry, I'll try and, I don't know why there's a, I'll try and raise the volume on this a little bit as best I can. And there's a little bit of slapback, but that's there.
So I'm not sure they have regret.
All right, simmer down. You and your slapback all of a sudden. Okay, here we go.
I think we got
No, they regret voting for Biden.
No, I understand what you're saying, Bill, but I'm just saying we got a tremendous vote, and the
No, he doesn't understand what you're saying, Bill. You have to understand. You're not interviewing a human being. You're interviewing a record. Everything you say is a needle drop, and there's one track on side B.
administration of Joe Biden has been a disaster.
You don't think he's doing it on purpose to help you out?
Oh, sure. I'm sure he's doing it on purpose. No,
Okay.
I think they can't help themselves.
So let's look ahead. Let's look ahead. That's what everybody wants to know
Yeah. Look ahead to fixing 2020.
now. If you decide to run for president again, you'll be in Grover Cleveland territory. You know that.
I do.
The only
I do not know what you mean by Grover Cleveland.
president who is elected to non-consecutive terms.
Oh, that's what you meant. I thought you meant he was...
So a lot of people are asking me, and I got tons of mail on this.
Unbelievable. As much as you got on the Photoshop question of your pick, no? All right.
Will President Trump change his style a bit if he runs again to be
Yeah, this time he'll become presidential.
less confrontational to try to win over independent voters? Will you do that?
Well, let me just tell you before I give you that answer.
Let me answer before I answer with another answer that I answer.
I had no choice but to be aggressive and confrontational because I was hit with many phony deals from
Phony deals.
Russia, impeachment, hoax number one, impeachment hoax number two, so many, Ukraine. We were hit with so many different things. The Mueller investigation, which turned out to be no collusion, that you had to be confrontational and you had to move fast. And on top of that, I ran a country.
Yeah, that's. I mean, look, if people are looking into your financial ties with Russia, you have to call Rosie O'Donnell a pig. You have to. I mean, what else are you going to do? If people are trying to judge your perfect phone call, you have to stop transgender people from serving in the military. You have to push back on it somehow, right? You can't just lay down.
And we rebuilt the military, and we did the biggest tax cuts and regulation cuts and all of the things we did. So I'd like to have a little bit more peaceful presidency from the standpoint that the radical left went after me like they've never gone after a president.
But you know that when you were in the primary up against your Republicans who wanted to be president, it was Lion Ted, it was Sweaty Marco, it was...
Sweaty? Was it Sweaty Marco? Was it Sweaty Marco? Can we bring back Sweaty Marco? Is that a dude that Trump used to hang out with in New York when he was a kid on the corner, pretending to be Marlon Brando? Sweaty Marco. It was Little Marco, right? Wasn't it?
Boring Jeb. I mean, you really...
What? Sorry, Aquamarine Jeb. What was it?
It was Sweaty Marco. It was Boring Jeb.
Was it Boring Jeb? What?
You really went in.
Yeah, it was. Wasn't it Thirsty Marco?
And battered these guys. Would you do it again if you're primaried? Would you do it that way?
I think it depends on who I'm running against. I mean, I have no idea who it would be.
It was Paul Ryan.
Well, that would be.
You're going to go after him. You're going to.
No, if it was Paul Ryan, I'd attack him very hard. I think he's terrible.
Have you thought?
I think he's a terrible person for the Republican Party and for the country. But no, it depends on who I'd be running against.
So, have you thought about you're the 40th
Yeah, some of them he would be kind to.
President with a pretty good record
of civilian deaths during your time in office. By the way, would you run on the idea that China attacked us on purpose with the virus and that you were president during that attack? And then, no, never mind.
Office.
I think a very good record.
Okay, but even you...
Bill, if I can't get softballs from you...
Detractors, the people who despise you.
Yeah.
All right? They can't criticize a record-breaking economy, can they?
Well, I mean, the record-breaking job losses, death rate of the last year. I mean, the fact that you got rid of the pandemic response team and literally pantsed our response against something like that on purpose for no particular reason 2 years before it happened. It's almost like you planned it.
we've ever had.
Okay. So does it occur to you that maybe I run on my record rather than I run on Donald Trump settling scores?
Well, I think I wouldn't be doing anything to settle scores. I just want to have our country back. Our country is lost right now. We suffered, in my opinion, the greatest embarrassment in the history of our country.
Oh, you mean the hundreds of thousands dead and the limiting of PPE to states because the president who was serving at the time had personal vendettas against the governors of those states, so he would toy with a situation where the citizenry could die. I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. Are you talking about like even having a president that says stuff like
look, action replays in magnified fortune.
I understand. Okay, so but so embarrassment. Tell us what is it? Getting out of Afghanistan. I see. It was getting out of Afghanistan. It was embarrassing. We should have stayed in Afghanistan. I mean, the Chinese and the Russians are upset that we're not there covering for them, and the Taliban is now looking to steam across the border into China and help the Uyghurs out, and that's trouble for China. And of course, the Russians are now having to do military drills with the Uzbekistanis to keep the Afghan terrorists and ISIS out of their country because of their treatment of the Chechen rebels and their situation there. But I understand what you mean, that we should be there just to sit there.
Withdrawal was shocking. It was a surrender. It wasn't even a withdrawal. That was a total surrender.
How did we surrender? Yeah, never mind.
Without a bullet being fired. And you look at 13 dead warriors, and by the way, many wounded. Nobody, and I'm talking about seriously wounded, legs and arms.
I see. Yeah, a serious wound involves one of your appendages. Clearly, brain injuries, not so much.
And you look at $85 billion worth of equipment left behind. There's no reason. Why would you leave it behind?
All right, let's get into that.
Yeah, let's go with first, there isn't $85 billion worth of gear in the country. That $85 billion was half training and half paying like contractors, for example, to do a lot of that training, and gear given to the Afghan military that they were presumably going to use after we left. So there's no reason to take it with us because it was basically gifted to them so they could stand up as an army. We never intended to take it with us because it was theirs. Let's get it. I'm sure he'll cover that. I'm sure he'll cover that.
So Biden blamed you and said you made a bad deal with the Taliban and that he inherited it and there's nothing he could do. I don't think many people buy that.
Nobody believes it. Look, I made a great deal to get out. So we didn't have a soldier killed, Bill, in 18 months. Not a
Yeah, because that was the deal. But if you stayed longer than that, they were going to go back to killing people.
Soldier killed in 18 months.
Right. And
they
that was the deal
respected us.
You told the Taliban, look, you don't mess with us. Right.
And we'll leave. That was the deal. That is the entirety of the deal. They got Bardar out of a Pakistani prison to be their conduit to the Taliban. And the deal they made was, we're leaving. Don't shoot any of our guys until we're out. We're going to leave by this date. And you guys don't shoot and we'll leave on this date. That was it. That was the actual deal. No, I mean, he bragged about that deal. There's no way Bill doesn't know that's the deal. So let's see what it was. Let's see.
Try to get a coalition government. But you didn't have the Kabul government in on those talks. It was you and the Taliban.
That's right.
By not having Kabul government in on the talks, did you...
This isn't going well. In my head, I just know that Bill has turned on me. How did I end up in this wooden room? Is this the funny farm? Is it real wood or is it padded? Have I lost my mind? Maybe I should just go hump that flag. Bill, how could you do this to me?
Escalate them.
There was no government. I was never a believer in Ghani. I thought he was a crook, and I said it 5 years ago. Before I was even in politics, I said it. I made the statement a long time ago.
Here it comes. That there was no reason to make a deal, that it was not going to stand up on its own. But the minute we leave, it's all going to fall apart. Here we go.
He will be out the door as soon as we leave. And eventually.
Right. Which is why Trump never left. That's why Trump never got us out of Afghanistan. Because he knew it was going to fall apart. A lot of the military leaders were saying it was going to fall apart without us there. The rest of the world was obviously, the British and the Australians were both aware that this was going to fall apart as soon as the U.S. left. That's why they started getting their folks out of there when we had our date set for real. Once Biden got in, they're like, oh, they're actually going to leave. They started to fuck off. Because, yeah, right.
You had no confidence in the Kabul government.
I had no confidence in him, and I had no confidence in the government.
So why were we continuing to give them military aid and shore it up, and why were you saying we would stay longer?
No confidence in the army, who we were paying their military people among the highest salaries in the world.
Right.
That's why they did it.
Right.
They didn't do it because they wanted something to do great for their nation. They did it because we were paying them $6 billion.
Yeah, they were mercenaries. Now, if you had been reelected, would the Taliban have taken that country over?
The Taliban would probably, I'll tell you what.
Oh, okay, this is good. Yeah. So now figure out how you would tell us that we would have left and the Ghani government, which you just shit all over, and the entire army was mercenaries who have absolutely no ability to stand up on their own, nor would they. Now tell us how, if you just, we would have actually gotten out, except for being, keeping the base, Bagram. This is so solid. This is sweet. Please pin him down, Bill, on this. Why are my hopes pinned on Bill Polished Egged O'Reilly?
And have taken that country over.
The Taliban would probably, I'll tell you what I would have done. It would have been.
I had a magic plan. Here it is.
Very interesting. I had a great plan.
Yeah, it's a magic plan. It's a magic plan. Yeah. Whoa. It's a magic plan. Sorry.
We would have had some control. You don't want full control. We would.
No, you don't. That's the worst thing you need in a war zone where your soldiers are walking around. You don't want full control. You want some control and mixed control between you and, I don't know, who I'd think the only people you met with last year.
Had some control. We would have kept Bagram. For China, much more so than for Afghanistan, because, it's right next to China.
Right.
No, it's not right next to China, but you could build a little base in that little region that attaches Afghanistan to China, between Pakistan and Uzbekistan, like that little area. But, that would be provocative, and you don't want to piss them off.
Very near their nuclear, where they do their nuclear development. That's not a bad place. And right now, from what I hear, China's going to take over Bagram. It cost us $10 billion to build.
It's a fucking airfield, and they are not. But they're welcome to it.
But years ago, they're going to tell longest runways in the country and the world.
Yeah. Can you imagine how much further their planes could go before they take off?
The 20,000-foot runways. It cost us a fortune. China is right now.
All right, but how would you have prevented the Taliban from taking over?
Yeah, it's a good question, Bill. Look at you. Bill, here's what you have a problem with. Bill O'Reilly is taller than Trump, and Bill O'Reilly thinks he's the smartest person in every room he's in. Trump wants people to think he's the smartest room in every room he's in, but knows full well he is literally the stupidest person present at every gathering, including his own rallies, which are full of Q supporters. And Bill, there's a few other Republicans too, who are sick and tired of people thinking that Trump is the peak brain in that organization.
Well, listen, we had to get out. It was 21 years.
All right,
it was ridiculous.
To prevent them from
I think I would have tried to hold the country in good. I don't think Ghani could have done it. I was totally against him from the beginning, and he left with his cash.
It's you and the Taliban.
And somebody has to look into that. I would say that I would have tried to keep this coalition of people together, but I don't think it would have worked. Somebody would have.
Jesus Christ. He predicts his own failure. There was no plan. There was no plan. Listen to this bullshit. This is great. Shit.
I think Ghani could have done it. I was totally against.
Nobody asked about Ghani, dumbfuck. How could you stop the Taliban from taking over Afghanistan? This is so sweet.
Prevent them from.
I think I would have tried to hold the country.
I think I would have tried to hold, and then blame Ghani. I think I would have tried to hold this in good what? In good shape, in excellent, big, beautiful plan.
Ghani could have done it. I was totally against him from the beginning, and he left with his cash.
It's you and the Taliban.
And somebody has to look into that. I would say that I would have tried to keep this coalition of people together, but I don't think it would have worked.
Jesus Christ. All right. I mean, honestly, maggots, Trumpsters, what? This is your hero. This is him. The fucker's been out of office for what, 9 months now? 10 months, whatever it is. I mean, he gave up on the entire running of the country last year just to save his own ass. So he really hasn't been president since election day. I'll give him the 4th. On the 4th, that's when he was like, fuck this joint. There was no plan. There was never a fucking plan. And his plan was, I think I would have tried to what? Piss off. Yes, that's who he's touring with.
Somebody would have taken over because we had to get out, but they wouldn't have killed our soldiers. They wouldn't have kept our equipment.
It would have been a much smoother exit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been way smoother. It would have been a smoother exit. Why? Based on what? A smoother exit on somebody would have taken. I don't think it would have been the Taliban, but Ghani wouldn't have held it. Somebody would have taken him. Like, I don't know, like ISIS-K, for example.
I always said that that whole thing will collapse as soon as we leave. We will.
Right, which is why you didn't have the balls to leave. That's why you wussed out and you never left. The entirety of your presidency, you ran on it, and then you kissed the general's ass in 2017. You did fuck all for 4 years, and you didn't leave because everybody you talked to was going, yeah, there's no there. The minute we leave, that place it's a shitstorm. And if your sons want to keep making money in the opium trade and and operate a human trafficking out of Afghanistan, we're going to need to stay in, Mr. President. I'm kidding. I'm just fucking around. Jesus Christ. A smooth jazz exit. Right. We would have put, I've got one of the best TV generals, Kenny G.
Putting it together.
Yes.
So I think I would love to have given it a little bit of a shot. But once we're gone, I always said, and I said this years ago.
I would have wanted to give it a little bit of a shot. Fucko, you were there for 4 years. What little bit of a shot are you talking about? Listen to this horseshit. This is amazing. This is what happens when you ask Trump a question and you ask him the same question again, and then you ask him a question to keep him on the question. I like et tu, O'Reilly. This is going to be part of this. This interview will be the transcript for Bill O'Reilly's new book, Killing Trump. Of course, it'll be, he didn't actually kill him. So it'll be like, little bunny, fuck you. Hashtag, air quotes, killing Trump.
It was going to collapse.
Okay.
So whether it's Taliban or not, now.
Yeah, it could have been anybody. It could be Taliban. It could be China and Russia bonding together. They could have taken it over. We could have sold them parts of it. And then I would have had Trump Tower Moscow and Trump Tower Shanghai. Fuck!
Taliban would have been a much weaker force than it is right now. Right now.
Why? Why? Based on what?
They have our equipment. Now they're asking for $10 billion worth of money from the United States.
Worth of money. $10 billion worth of money. How would you like your money? I would like it in money, please. They're asking for food aid, fucko. Oh my God, this is dumb. This is great. Honestly, the dude was in the White House for 4 years and could not know less about this stuff. How would you like it? I would like it in unmarked 20s. The fuck?
And would have been a much weaker force than it is right now. Right now.
Based on nothing. I mean, that's just dumb.
Have our equipment.
By the way, Grumpy Dave, Leper Messiah is indeed my favorite Metallica song. Thanks for bringing it up.
Now they're asking for $10 billion worth of $10 billion worth of money from
worth of money, $10 billion worth of money. So U.S. currency, I see. They don't want it in yuan right now. They're concerned about certain other currencies. $10 billion worth of money. Shit. Sorry. God damn it. Bill, ask him again about the Taliban, please.
United States, and they're going to get it.
I don't know.
They're not asking from the United States. They're asking from the UN and everybody.
$1 billion worth of money from the United States, and they're going to get it.
I don't know. Biden's on the skids. Wouldn't you say so?
Well, yeah. Go bring it back around to something that'll make him happy again. He's gonna punch you in the dick for bringing this up. Jesus.
His poll numbers are way down. Nothing's
because he did the thing that you were too afraid to do because it would bring your poll numbers down, because everybody told you that getting out of Afghanistan, while it's very popular in theory, in practice it's fucked. And so that's why he never did anything.
Look, and now inflation's at 5.4%. Your administration spent a lot of money because you had to rebuild this and you had to do that.
Yeah, you had to. You had to do an unpaid for tax cut for corporations that was temporary for individuals but permanent for you had to. You had to make sure that it was there, but it was not paid for, and there were no cuts, because you can't play Santa by going, Jimmy, I'm here with your new Christmas present, and I'm going to take all your shoes.
Well, just to say.
Yeah. These are not defensive hand gestures at all. Just so you understand. Let me try to shape this stupid idea into something that sounds remotely like a sentence. Okay, here we go. Best economy ever, best. We had the best.
Rebuild the military.
Okay. Yeah, I rebuilt the military. Okay.
We had an obsolete
We know what you spent it on. How did you keep inflation under control for 4
Well, because when we went into a recession in February of 2020, it was absolutely swamped by the fact that he was hiding the pandemic for a long time to protect China so he could get his trade deal done, that they honored 1/3 of 1/3 of it.
years when he's been in for 9 months and it's up 5.4%. Well,
because nobody went anywhere, and it's because of bottlenecks. It's because of the shutdowns. And why, by the way, Bill, maybe after he answers and he blames Biden and the Democrats and socialism and Marxism and the communism, and we're really headed towards that and all that. After he gives you that answer, then ask him why inflation's up in Europe. Here's a good one. Wait, hold on. This is good. Hold on. Please give me a point of order, Mr. Chairman. If I, let's see. I make sure I'm in the right keyboard. Sorry. What? Let's see. This is maybe after he answers. After he asks, shit. After he answers why it's Biden's fault and inflation at 5.6%, then ask him why China's inflation is worse. Is a 9% consumer price index, 0.8% in August from a year earlier, and after a 1% rise in July. It's been going up a point, and they just judge it by points. Look at this. Ask him about Chinese inflation. This is a man, look at his face. This is a man who loves questions on macroeconomics. I didn't realize there would be math.
Okay, one of the big things I did was become energy independent.
Oh, just dovetail it back to one of your bullshit talking points.
And we had very low energy costs. And if you're going to have high energy costs, everything else follows energy.
Okay, so it was him shutting down the Keystone Pipeline?
I think it was a...
Yeah, that's what drove it up. That's what drove American oil producers' costs up, was the removal of a Canadian shale oil pipeline. Did that... here's a follow-up question, Bill. Did the shale oil that would go through that pipeline, which would not be online right now, by the way, still need to be built further, It would not even be part of the economic conversation for over a year. Is that shale oil still, does it exist? Is it on trucks, and is it in tankers, and is it making its way to market in a way that it previously made its way to market? Is that true? Or once we shut that off, they shut down the shale oil mines and the rigs, and that was that, and we're done.
Thing, not just Keystone. Keystone's the least of it. That was
Keystone's the least of it. I mean, it's Canadian oil, whatever. Anwar, he stopped. I opened up Anwar. Reagan hasn't done it, and I opened up Anwar, and Anwar wouldn't be there. That we would have had, and this would have that, and yet we didn't have Anwar during his presidency, and we wouldn't again have any of that oil online for years.
Something he should have never done. I just had everybody. We were drill. You know the expression, drill we must. And
yeah, that old expression. Yeah, you use that a lot when you're watching Shark Week with Stormy Daniels, right? Drill we must.
Getting great energy. We had more oil and gas.
He put regulations on oil and on the other fossil fuels.
Yeah, Bill. Once that happened, when energy. Look, when they were going to...
Look. Hold on. Bill, you're interrupting him, and he's got a great explanation. And I'm sure...
Look.
All right, listen.
The pump and seeing $5. It was $1.87 a gallon. And now...
When no one was going anywhere.
It's going to be over $5. Some places, it's already over $5.
Gee, it's almost like the oil companies are trying to make up for lost profits on the backs of consumers.
That goes throughout the whole economy. I think energy was a big factor, a very big...
So American gas prices are responsible for a 9% rise in overall factory goods in China being expensive, and a 0.8% rise monthly, or 1% rise monthly in the Chinese consumer price index every month. Is that... Oh, and by the way, the the percentage that goes up includes the percentage from the month before. Do you understand how mathematically fucked that is? Yeah, okay.
Factor. And I kept it lower. We were making money like hand over fist with energy, bigger than Russia, bigger than Saudi Arabia, energy independent. We were #1 in the world. Once that stopped, and now we're going back and we're negotiating with OPEC. It's now $80 a barrel.
Right.
When I was there, and this is less than a year ago.
Less than a year ago, when no one was going anywhere, when they were overproducing oil everywhere, and you had to intervene between Saudi Arabia and the game of chicken between Saudi Arabia and Russia about who could drive prices lower in oil. It was below zero. It was -$30 a barrel because the whole world seized up because of the disease.
It was $40 a barrel.
It
was
crazy.
less than that.
It's crazy. Okay.
It's crazy. It's almost like it was -30 a year ago, and now it's fucking 80. It almost sounds like a balancing act in the pricing.
That was a big factor.
Yeah, was it a big factor? Does that make eggs more expensive?
Oh, the southern border has collapsed. All right,
Yes, it collapsed. I blame the shit wall. I mean, you build the wall, you spend a bunch of time building the wall, and then you leave office and it stops working.
The Remain in Mexico policy, the Mexican government had their army on the border, preventing all of the migrants from massing and coming over there.
Well, no, except for the Mexican Ted Bundys that his friend, the president of Mexico, was allegedly releasing into the United States to come and kill and Ted Bundy us.
The army's gone now. They're gone.
Because of the way I dealt with Mexico, they gave us 28,000 soldiers free.
Same shit. Free. Yes. And with 29,000, you get a free yogurt.
No charge.
Right.
But not this week. You have to come back next week.
And they patrolled the border for us, and they did a great job.
So you got Afghanistan.
Yes, they all got COVID and spread it to everyone else. And then everybody was afraid of the border because we had more COVID cases than Mexico did.
Catastrophe. You got high inflation. You got a collapsed border. Biden doing it on purpose?
Yeah, that's what he's doing, Bill. That's a question in an intelligent, logical person would do. Yes, he's doing it to destroy America. It's been their plan all along. My next guest, Q, the letter, not the person, will answer those questions for us.
You would almost say, when you look at the border or when you look at the pullout of Afghanistan, you would almost say nobody can be that stupid. Nobody can be doing this thinking it's good.
Oh, you mean like playing down COVID in the first 5 months of 2020, even though you know full well that it would, if it was to run rampant, it would overwhelm our medical system, as it's doing in a lot of red states right now, and kill a lot of people, including your own supporters.
Nobody could pull out the soldiers in Afghanistan before they pull out the American citizens or before they pull out their $85 billion.
Well, they didn't. They hold on. Just in case we need any clarification on this. One moment, please, if I might. So yeah, you're saying that the evacuation was the final day of it was the 31st, but the period, the 2 week before was was the crunch time to get everybody out. And your suggestion is that you would not pull out the military until such time as, holy shit, look at that. Since 5,000 troops to Afghanistan, key northern city. Okay, well, maybe that was it. And he took the military out just so he could put them back in. And then, 1,000 more troops sent in. So a total of 6,000. That's fun. So you would have done that, is the theory. You would have done what Biden did?
Worth of equipment. I said, he must be doing it on purpose. They must hate the country. They must hate our country.
Think that he's subverting his own?
Yeah, that's what they do. They hate our country. That's why we should have stayed there paying, what did you call them, mercenaries, to fight their own civil war for years and years and years, and maybe let some of the factions, the Taliban, who knows, and it would have been much better. And it's a good expenditure of American money, and also putting soldiers in harm's way for no fucking reason.
I don't know what's going on. Look, Bill.
Yeah, well, that was true. Hold on. He actually said something truthful.
I said, he must be doing it on purpose. They must hate the country. They must hate our country.
Think that he's subverting his own country?
I don't know what's going on. Look.
Do you? I think he must hate our country. Do you really think he's subverting our own country? I don't know what's going on.
Look, Bill, you could ask a 5-year-old child, and I actually did it.
Shit. This poor child is going to get subpoenaed by the January 6th Commission now. Well, look.
Action replays in magnified fortune.
Let's look at that again.
A young man was there. We talked about it.
A young man? A 5-year-old is not a young man. That's a toddler. That's a child. And we talked about it. Would you take the military out? No. With
a group of people, I said, so what would you do? I'd keep the...
Kids say the darndest military strategies. This is one of my favorite shows. This is how it went. You sure he didn't say sir? By the way, this is a fantastic look you have on your face. I can't imagine what's going through your pants right now. All right.
Army there. I would keep the military there. Look, when you see something like Afghanistan, the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened, in my opinion, to our country, I think.
So the entire Vietnam War, and I would argue one of the most embarrassing things is that we were in there for 15 years, and even during your presidency, there was no real effort to get out. That would be far more embarrassing than the actual fact that we left. But please, by the way, hang on to this. Please still be bitching about this in February.
Number one. And I think the border is, I don't think anything's close, but I think the border is...
It's a catastrophe.
Is very embarrassing.
It's a catastrophe. Except it isn't.
Right. It's a catastrophe.
And it's killing our country.
He's either doing it on purpose or there's somebody telling him to do it. All right. People in his ear And these decisions that
Bill, you lost him. You can't give him that many options. Look at his face. You started counting. You started counting on your fingers, and then he went totally. Look at this. He what?
doing it on purpose, or there's somebody telling him to do it, all right? People in his ear, and these decisions the president is making are hurting the country. It's either or.
No, or they're incompetent.
But look, he's surrounded by, you, just as you were. You know the game.
Yes, he's, no. You cannot compare the people surrounding Biden with the people surrounding Trump. Please bring up Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon and the other army of Steves.
We're in the Oval Office. You got experts all over the place. Are they all that?
What was that? Why do we get a slapback echo all of a sudden? Hold on one second. That was weird. I don't know why that does that. Okay, here we go.
Could be that way. Look, it could be a number of things. It could be they hate the country. Now, I don't happen to believe that, okay? They can't. I mean, they just can't. But how do you make decisions like the border? We have coming into our country, they're emptying out their prisons.
Right, you're good friends in South America.
In many other countries. You know, I used to talk about the 3 plus Mexico. Now I'm hearing it's 47 different countries. They're coming from the Middle East.
Haiti.
How can they're coming in from Haiti?
Do you think
hundreds of thousands?
Hundreds of thousands. 18, but 18,000. But hundreds. Just make it hundreds. Just say hundreds of thousands. Just say it. It's got to be true enough. Like eventually. Keep in mind, these are two men who think Biden has dementia and is losing it. And
Maybe.
Do you think President Obama has President Biden's ear? Do you think President Obama?
Yeah, clearly. I mean, Obama, Bill Ayers, commies. Obviously, Obama's whispering in his ear. That whole remark about him wanting to do the presidency remotely is now him controlling Biden. That's how it clearly works. Of course, Obama's being controlled by Hillary's people, and Hillary's people are being controlled by Bill Gates and Bill Clinton, the army of Bills. It's Bills versus Steves.
Involved at all in this?
I think he's probably involved, but actually I heard a statement which I respected. President Obama said it's not sustainable to do what we're doing with the open border.
That's what he said?
He made that statement a few days ago.
Right, we don't have an open border.
And I said, that's nice that he did that he said that.
Yeah, he said it about you. He didn't say it about policy.
It's obvious that it's true, but this group is far left of Obama. Or, again,
they're accidentally far left of Obama. That happens. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're walking down the steps and your heel catches.
But I don't know. I've never seen anything like it. When you look at what's going on in Texas and Arizona, when you look at tens of thousands of people pouring into our country.
Excuse me, it's hundreds of thousands, millions every month. Keep your numbers up. Otherwise, people are going to go tens of thousands. That's pretty normal. That happens all the time.
And then they say you have to wear a mask, you have to get vaccinated, you have to do all these different things. And yet these people are flowing in by the hundreds of thousands a week.
Yeah. Well, where did you get that 10,000 number then? 100,000 a week. Oh, you're just going 10,000 a day? 8,000 days, what's 6,000? I mean, it's the same people over and over again, but whatever.
With no regulation at all. If you
none. And yeah, that's what's happening at the border. There is no regulation at all. Keep in mind, the only people you are hearing from in the media in any form that is saying America has an open border and there are no limits on people coming in are Republicans, are Bill O'Reilly and Trump and Fox News. They're the ones who go on every fucking day and tell you the border is wide open. It's Biden's open border. He said, come on in. The president himself has said, come on in. The border is open. It's a great border. It's a border. It's porous as hell. Just ignore the wall. Just walk right through it. That's why we made it a slat fence. We only want skinny people from South America.
President, would you say to federal employees, particularly in education and the military, you have to get vaxxed? Would you have that mandate?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say to anybody you have to, but I would sell it. Look, I'm very proud of what we did with the vaccines. It was supposed to take 5 years, and they said it wasn't going to work.
You're going to sell it like you've been selling it at your own rallies where you get booed? How are you going to sell everybody seeking services from the military and from medical professionals and from federal authorities if the person they're interacting with could be sick and spreading a disease?
3 vaccines in less than 9 months, and they do work. They work really well. I would convince people, take it. I don't want to push it. Look, it's killing our country right now because so many people are being laid off. They can't get workers. That's a big factor, by the way.
So many people are being laid off, they can't get workers?
And why the ships are docked out there. We can't get anything into the country.
Because you wouldn't mandate federal employees.
Yeah, it's not because there's a ginormous backlog from during the heavier parts of lockdown and a stagger start supply chain that just, you know, operating in fits and starts and overwhelming parts of it because all this stuff is backed up and you have 16, you know, one person, revolving doors built for 4 people. And then 35 people try to bull rush through, and suddenly the revolving door is not as great a plan anymore.
Massive numbers of great employees, great people, great employees.
You mean the deep state? Good, thanks.
Leaving their jobs because of the whole vaccination.
Would you have them tested? They have to get
Sure, they can be tested. They can be tested. But here's the thing. When I was president, there was no talk about mandates or anything. Everybody wanted the vaccine.
Yeah, everybody except your voters.
Now a lot of people don't want it.
Anti-vaxxers.
Well, they maybe don't trust Biden. Something.
Yeah, that's what it is. They don't trust. You came up with the vaccine. You bragged about Operation Fart Steed.
Captain's log.
Whoops.
Captain's log.
There you go. You bragged about it. It's your vaccine. Your own people are booing you at your own fucking rallies, and it's because they don't trust them.
But it's your vaccine, and you've told them to get vaxxed.
It is, and I have said it.
And so does the Pope. You and the Pope both said get vaxxed.
Okay, I have said it. Other people have said it. But remember this, when they call a pause to Johnson & Johnson, that was
to make sure that it doesn't kill young men because it's a different vaccine than the Moderna or Pfizer ones or even the AstraZeneca ones, and it has specific health concerns, and they put a pause in it to make sure it's okay. That's bad. Okay.
a huge story. People said, would you say it? I said, wait a minute. They just caused a pause over 6 people, I guess most of whom were okay in the end. They paused this. This was a huge headline. They don't know about Johnson & Johnson. They just know the vaccine got paused. They have done so many things.
Right?
Yeah, but then after the pause, the majority of people you're talking about ended up getting Johnson & Johnson. I think fucking Rachel Maddow got Johnson & Johnson. Like it's real. It's one and done. Everybody talks about it. Jesus Christ.
Let me clear. You would not mandate federal employees have to get vaccinated.
No, but I think I'd get most people to take it. I think
yeah, I would just talk them into it. You know, like I would talk one of the forces in, not the Taliban and not obviously the Afghan military, but I would have just done a thing where I kept the whole, listen, look, Bill. I would try, and it would probably fail, but
you wouldn't.
I think that they would trust me. Okay. They're not trusting this.
Why? Based on, they don't do it now. You get booed. It's the only time he gets booed at his own rallies is when he brings up the vaccine. What the fuck are you talking about? They trust you.
Administration.
Did China weaponize COVID and then it escaped from Wuhan lab?
Oh boy. Uh-oh. Now, he's got a tough spot right here. He's got a bunch of Q people who absolutely think it was on purpose. He wants to have deals with China in the future. Financially, he thinks it's a good idea. Even though if you're looking for a worst bet on earth right now, Chinese real estate kicks all their asses. But this, okay, let's see the answer to this one. How do I answer this without ruining some sideline deals my kids set up while I was president?
I think what happened is China looked, and I was the first one of the early ones to say,
said stop travel from China. That's not what he asked you, fucko.
It came from Wuhan, that came from the lab.
Chinese virus.
No, everybody knows it came from Wuhan. Everybody knows that was the epicenter. The question was, did it come from a wet market? Did it come from the lab? Did it come from the lab accidentally, or did it come from the lab on purpose? These are the three major reasons that people are giving as a possibility. Now, if it came from the lab on purpose, that means you were a president during the worst biological attack in the United States history that killed 600,000 plus people during your last year in office, and you not only ignored it and played it down so you could do a trade deal with the people who attacked us with said bioweapon, which is the argument that those folks would make, but you sold them the largest shipment of beef, corn, and soybeans in their history during it. I mean, can we eventually just get off of Chamberlain's back about this? But okay, so here we go.
And everyone went crazy. You know, I never forget, I said that. I didn't think it was such a big statement. People went crazy, the left. They went totally crazy when I said it.
Well, no. When people were upset, you were calling it the China virus, for example. And calling it the Wu flu or calling it the CCP virus or those kind of things, you can argue about that part of it. But when you call it the China virus, Chinese people and Asians in general, because a lot of the most racist among us can't tell the difference anyways or wouldn't even try, that puts them in danger. Or blames even the Chinese people, who are not to be blamed in this, no matter how much the CCP may have been involved in disseminating it or not caring. If it was on purpose by the CCP or accidental by the CCP, it's still not the people's fault in China. They are under this regime in the same way that North Korean people are stuck this way. Nobody chooses to be born in North Korea in that regard. Yeah, exactly. People went nuts because he was racist about it, because he was attaching it to the people. Now, there's linguistic problems that you have to be aware of, where Chinese people and the Chinese people, meaning citizens of China or Chinese people or people of Chinese descent, it overlaps linguistically. So you got to make distinctions there. He didn't. That's the problem. And then you have a rise of Asian hate crimes for that very reason.
So the big question is, did China do this on purpose or not?
That would be the big question, because that means you were president if you answer it that way during the worst bioweapon attack in history. Let's hear it.
I think probably they didn't, okay?
They did not.
I think they did not do it on purpose. It certainly fit their agenda pretty well in many ways, because it knocked us out.
So it was because of incompetency. Basically, whatever the Biden administration and CCP, what's the difference?
It knocked out the world, and it knocked them also, however, but they were able to control it. One of the worst things that happened is...
They were able to control it? No, they were not. They're still having big blowups of it there. What are you talking about? They lied about their numbers, they continue to lie about their numbers, and they still have huge outbreaks.
They kept it in Wuhan and the rest of the world, but it didn't go to the rest of China for the most part. It didn't go to the...
But you could fly.
So they put a wall, so to speak.
But you don't think they weaponized COVID?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Why didn't you fire
certainly
Fauci?
Hope not.
Why didn't you fire Fauci? Everybody hates Fauci.
Well, it didn't matter because I did...
Yeah, everybody hates Fauci. And by everyone, you mean you and Bill O'Reilly and right-wingers who want to, I don't know.
Much the opposite of what he would suggest.
But you still had him.
No, he's been there a long time. I actually got along with him very well. Call me Tony. He goes, call me Tony, sir.
Is that how it went? Call me Tony, sir? So he said it so convincingly, you think your name is Tony now.
Me, Tony.
He was a much better promoter than he goes, call me Tony. He's been there a long time. I actually got along with him very well. Call me Tony. He goes, call me Tony, sir.
That's right. Anybody who gets along with Fauci, we just call them Tony. You might want to get the whole he said before you say call me Tony, because Bill was concerned for a moment. He thought this was one of those moments and they were going to have to stop down and restart the interview again from scratch.
Call me Tony.
He was a much better promoter than he was a doctor.
But you didn't fire him.
No, I didn't fire him. He said, let them come in from China. Months after I closed it, I said...
He did not. Let them come in from China months after I closed it.
In hindsight, you should have sacked him. Come on.
He had much less influence in my administration.
Optics.
Well, look, I mean, Tony...
What are you talking about? He's the one who talked you into the 15 days to, you know, slow the spread thing. It was a week of convincing this asshole. They were showing him the charts like, this is how many dead if you do nothing. You're talking about 1 million dead in the last year of your presidency.
Oh, wait 1 second. Tony Fauci said masks are no good. Don't wear masks.
No, he didn't.
We all know that.
Now he's a radical master.
Why didn't you fire him?
Why? And he's been there a long time.
Why didn't you fire General Milley? Come on, Milley.
So Milley was a different guy when I was there.
Different guy.
He played to whoever was sitting in the Oval Office.
So he's a phony.
Well, he made some statements that were really dumb. For instance, on the military, when I said we're moving out of Afghanistan, we'll take our time. I dealt with Abdul. Abdul was not going to do anything to us. The head of
until the deadline came, and then you're on your own.
The Taliban. And I was very rough with Abdul, but you know what?
I was very rough with him? Really? Did you pull his hair or whatever? Just slam him over the couch? You were very rough with him? I'm just saying, according to you, he likes the rough stuff. He likes it rough. I don't know that that would help.
It was fine. We had a good
So you were rough with someone who just got out of a Pakistani jail.
understanding, and we got along just fine.
Yeah, of course. You got along just fine. Milley's a phony man who served in the military under you, and you chose to put him in a position of an advisory position in your administration. But please tell us how Abdul Baradar. Yeah.
Milley said when I said all equipment out, all people out, all Americans out, and other people. But I said I want every nut, every bolt. I want the tents. I want everything.
And Milley said, fine.
No, Milley said, sir, it's cheaper,
sir,
to leave it there than it is to take it. I believe that's why they left it. Because
why didn't you fire him when he said it?
No, I just thought.
Bill, Trump doesn't fire people. His producers fire people. If somebody doesn't tell Trump to fire somebody, he won't do it. And even when you tell him he has to fire somebody, he waits a year.
It's very stupid. Okay.
Well, why did you keep him there?
Because you suck. Because you're a coward. Tell him the truth. Tell him you don't have the nuts to fire people, even though that was your... It's just a slogan, Bill. That's the answer. Because you're fired was a bumper sticker, not a reality. I want the forts. Yeah, we were going to take the forts as well.
It's a long story, but I will...
No, it isn't. It's not a long story. You ran on the guy who could go, you're fired, get out of there, and you didn't fire anybody.
You know, they've been there a long time, and I'm not looking to do terrible things to people, but he said...
No, not at all. I'm not looking to do terrible things to people.
Stupid things, man.
All right.
Well, that's not doing something terrible. You can fire him. He's not going to get executed. You just replace him. It's an administration. You do whatever the fuck you want.
Now, final question. You know the Zuckerberg story unfolding?
I'm here.
Yeah. This whole Zuckerberg story or whatever, where, yeah. You mean the part where he, like, they have to change his battery 3 times a week?
It's a big story, and I think it's illegal, what he did.
Well...
What would that be? What was the thing that's illegal? That he donated to nonprofits and to cities so that they could have, you know, get out the vote campaigns?
This is the real rigged election. This is the real steal.
This is the real rigged election, meaning that the bullshit that Trump believes, look at his face right now. That's what this means. That the bullshit Trump believes about, you know, hackers and Chinese votes and fake ballots and panda shit in Arizona and all this stuff is nonsense. It's just that they you know, Zuckerberg paid to get out the vote of all these Democrats, and now they're able to vote. Not that any of their votes were fake, just that we've been working for years to stop these people from voting, and now they get to vote because of Zuckerberg. This is terrible. It's rigged against us.
Well, it's part of it, but it's
no, but this is it.
Yeah.
If you see...
Yeah. This is it. Yes, because the rest of what you're talking about is horse shit. I mean, this is too, but, you know.
The $400 million that he donated to the left-wing nonprofits. If you...
Nonprofits. What did those nonprofits do, Bill? What'd they do? What'd they do with that money? What'd they do with it?
See where that money is, because we've been investigating. It's in all the places that there was suspect. So,
oh, you mean all the places where people have been denied voting machines or drop boxes or you know, get out the vote campaigns have been you know, strategically slowed down, and that money actually went to places that previously the you know, the Paul Weyrich clan of the right wing have been denying the vote for as many people of color for as long as possible through semi-legal and illegal means, and that this made up for it. That part.
it wasn't voter machine fraud or dead people. It was.
By the way, it was everything. It was.
It wasn't voter machine fraud or dead people. Look, just the demoralization. Bill, you guys have to do tour dates together. I mean, it's 2 states and nobody gives a shit, but
this was the big one.
Including this. But this was the big one. Yes, drop boxes full of legit votes. This is it.
You realize, because you were president of the United States, it is against the law to electioneer at a polling place.
Yeah.
You can't. That's a crime.
Okay.
All right? But not if you have mail-in ballots. You can go to somebody's living room and fill it out for them.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Okay.
Is that what happened, Bill? That they went door to door? Because he's not buying that one. You can't go to a dead person's living room. It doesn't fit the scheme, Bill. This is a whole different.
That's part of what happened. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that was part of what happened. What really happened was a bunch of 9-year-olds who don't even live in the state who died 20 years ago all voted.
He did, in my
Why is Trump's hair so shiny? Hairspray.
opinion, was illegal.
This is Zuckerberg.
Yeah, it was illegal.
How? How?
With the drop boxes or the lock boxes or maybe the unlock boxes.
Yeah, I call them because I have a way with words and I'm a marketing genius. I call them the unlock boxes.
It was electioneering.
Did you ever see the percentage of vote that Biden got in those boxes when they came in? And sometimes those
90%.
boxes, sometimes 97%.
Yeah, because they were targeting it.
Correct. And there are
to the poor and impoverished and black communities that were denied machines, and so this was one of the first ways that they could really get an indicative vote from those communities. Paper trail everywhere.
Does it say it was totally illegal?
But he's going to get away with it. But now we know what happened. Poor Rudy Giuliani.
Well, you don't know if he's going to get away with it.
Yeah, you do. I mean, because it's not a crime.
Okay.
Not under the Biden Justice Department.
But it would seem that they don't do anything to anybody but Republicans. Doesn't it seem that way, right?
Well, Wisconsin's
Well, no. Ask Bill Clinton.
not going to do anything because Evers vetoed it already, and Biden and Merrick Garland are not going to do anything. You know,
Wisconsin is looking very, very strongly at it right now.
Oh, yeah, very strongly. They're staring at it really hard. They're looking at it strongly. Just, if you lean into it, you can just look at it hard like that. Oh, don't look that hard. That's too hard.
Now, their Senate, which really controls that, more so than Evers. Let's see what happens.
All right.
But with Wisconsin, they found tremendous fraud. But when you look at those boxes and what you look at what Facebook and others did.
And others, namely, China.
It's a disgrace.
now we covered an
Disgrace, that covers it.
enormous amount of ground, thanks to me, because I am focused, all right? But I just want to get this.
Jesus. Again, this is what happens when Trump meets an egotistical sexual assaulter just like himself. These guys, this is 2 old farts jockeying for the last chick in the stable.
Thinking about changing your style if you get back into the presidential sweepstakes. You're not going to be as harsh because you have a record to run on. Is that what I've heard?
No, you're getting back to the first question, and no, that's not what you're hearing, stupid.
Will do whatever it takes to make America great again. That's all I'm going to do. Whatever it takes. If I have to be harsh, I'll be harsh. If I have to, let me tell you, I was harsh with NATO. Got $430 billion from NATO. They were ripping us off.
That's not what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly. But I'll do whatever it takes to make America great again.
If that means shitting on Republicans between now and 2024 every goddamn week, that's what I'm going to do. And by the way, that's what he means. And that's what Bill O'Reilly's worried about. Bill O'Reilly, his main concern right now is the fact that every time Trump shows up, he's spent like, yeah, Pelosi, Biden, yeah, I hate them. Of course, I'm supposed to. But these rhinos. And so everywhere they go, they attack Republicans and they put up these lunatics that won't, I mean, they're going to turn a bunch of purple districts blue.
And our country is in trouble. Our country,
Big time.
has never.
Big time. Oh, totally. It's totally in trouble. It's almost as if we're coming out of a major pandemic and are still dealing with the ramifications. It should have been erased in March.
Been in a position like it is right now. We're not respected by anybody.
We're not respected. All right, let's see. Look at this. No confidence has gone down to 22%. Confidence has gone up to 75% from 17%. This is end of the Trump presidency, beginning of the Biden presidency. Is it whoop, whoop? We're not respected anymore. Is that what it is? I'm sorry. Please continue. So pitiful.
We'll do what it takes, and it will be all about America first, whatever I have to do.
Now, we have sold more than 30,000 tickets for the Trump O'Reilly History Tour.
Good.
I always put your name first, Mr.
You better,
President.
you better.
Okay, okay. More than 30,000. We still have about 15,000 left. All right? I think based on this interview that anybody would want to see Trump O'Reilly on the stage. Do you concur?
I think so.
This is an ad. It's an ad. It's not an interview. It's an ad. Now, what Trump doesn't know is that it's an ad for O'Reilly.
I think it's going to be very successful. Already is successful. Look.
Yeah, it's already successful. I mean, there's 15,000 tickets unsold and a lot of, weirdos scalping it. It's the same assholes who, drive around the country going to these things. They're going to go to all four of them, but whatever.
With virtually no advertising. In fact, until a couple of weeks ago, no advertising.
Right.
You sold 60% of the seats, as I understand it. You're doing,
It's because
we're
of
doing
you.
4 locations.
It's not me. It's you.
Well, it's a combination. Look, it's
Right.
a combination.
We have nice ties, both of us.
We've always had a great thing, not necessarily friendly, but we've always
Not necessarily friendly. Not after those questions.
some great little debates going over the years. And
Like today.
We always had a lot of fun. But I think we're going to have fun. We're going to learn together. We're going to have a
Yeah, we're going to grow. You're going to traipse through a field of daisies. You're going to, and they end the whole thing by somebody brings out a kiddie pool full of baby oil and they both strip down. I'm sorry.
great audience. And it really is selling amazingly well. Considering we spent no money on promotion,
That's right. No
money
marketing.
on anything.
Right.
And we have big arenas and they're almost sold out. They're getting
Yeah, I'm. There's no way that the tickets aren't being scalped.
close to being
Certified resale value.
sold out.
Right.
So congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President, for putting up with me. I think that was one of the best interviews you've done. I see you on cable TV. Nothing comes close to this. You know it. You know it.
You do a good job, Bill. I've
Poke him. Poke him. This is amazing.
always said it. Thank you.
That was it.
I must really love you.
So yeah, so basically they have 15,000 tickets to sell, and then there are a bunch of people who have bought the tickets early and are reselling them. So they have the ticket for $100 or $80 or whatever, and they're selling them for, they're scalping basically. That's what's happened, is that they're scalping the front row tickets, and now they, oh God. So all right, so this is I'm sure when they post these things, somebody's going to videotape them for posterior, and then eventually they'll put them online. If you couldn't make it, pay-per-view, and then you know what that means. I have to pay for it, download it, and then break it down. The things I do. All right. Let's. God. But we have to say there were a couple of moments in that were actually pretty sound. These were pretty. I think this look on his face sums up the entire interview. Yes, for posterior. My neck hurts from Bill asking the hard questions to kissing Trump's ass. Yeah, the whiplash is hilarious. 2 buffoons, 1 cup. Oh my God. He said he didn't wear a condom. Where's the barf emoji? Yeah. Is he going toward Bill O'Reilly because he needs a minder? Yeah, basically. These conversations are going to be like, how many people think that he's going to get booed, that Bill O'Reilly's going to get booed by Trump's audience for asking him tough questions more than once? Because that's going to be part of it. Because there's a bunch of like nutty, cute style folks are going to be showing up at this thing, and this is basically Trump's whole. This should be his poster picture, not the one that they were selling, like this, you know, not the shaved egg Bill O'Reilly and the I fell asleep on the beach in Key West and just woke up. This should be Trump's picture on the